Shalom. And most of all, shalom to our good friend. Uh, should I call him Rabbi Jake Brancatella, the formerly Muslim metaphysician? Now, maybe, should we call him Jake the Saudi metaphysician, or Jake the Moroccan metaphysician, or the Zionist metaphysician? Let me be serious for a minute, because Jake might actually watch this. Jake, I believe you are an honest person. From everything I've seen, I've been following your career for a couple of years now. I believe you actually have iman. I believe you actually believe in God, and you believe in doing what's right and true. And I believe that you're not a coward, even though I called you a coward. I don't think you are an actual coward. And I really do feel for you. Multiple sclerosis. My grandfather had multiple sclerosis. It runs in my family. And I know that you have a wife who you're taking care of, and I can only hope that God has blessed you with children. And I know what a difficult situation you find yourself in. I understand better than I think most people, because I lived in a shithole country. I lived in a Muslim country. And yes, I realize Muslim countries don't have to be shitholes, but they are. It's not a necessary connection there, but it is a connection that's true. And it's very obvious from this video. I linked it. Anybody who wants to go see it, especially somebody who is from the Middle East, can see that you've gotten an education. You've gotten the phone call. Jake the Mossad metaphysician. And I actually do believe, because you are a person of iman, that you have faith. I doubt very much you're going to be willing to live under the strictures of the Moroccan government for very long. I am hoping you have a new appreciation for what it means to live in the United States and to be an American and to have the freedoms that we do. And honestly, I know that, it would be a serious blow to your career to actually speak the truth about Morocco and what it's like to live in any of these shithole countries. But I think you are a truth speaker. I do. I really believe that. And so I'm going to be making a lot of fun, because you deserve it. It's what you would do. But I want you to understand it doesn't come from a place of hatred. It comes from a place of, hopefully, iman, of truth, of belief, of faith in God, that reality is real and good is good and true is true, and that there is la ilaha illallah. There is only one God. He runs the world, and he sets the rules for the world, and that we are best served by serving the one true God. So with that little message to our dear friend Jake, hopefully soon to be Jake 3.0. I mean, I have to admit, I have watched this video too many times. Two of the people who Daniel Haraju. Daniel Haraju. What a piece of shit that man is. Because he knows and knew all of the things that that Jake didn't. And he's smart, but he's not as smart as Jake. He's a grifter. He's trading on his supposed faith for his money and his notoriety and stuff. And all I can say about him is mashpil game ad haaretz. He who throws down the proud to the ground. And watching him, I mean, we'll watch some clips of this, but you might want to watch the entire thing. I think it's only like 30 minutes. So let's start with not making this a click bait title. Here is Jake admitting that he's wrong to Daniel Haraju.
So you're right that I should actually use either a different term or just explain it in detail without using the term ikhwani so that nobody is confused by it whatsoever.
Okay, so to understand what's going on there, ikhwani comes from Akhwan Muslimin, the Muslim Brotherhood. And
dear acorns, I'm planting seeds.
Jake has come to realize, I mean, if you watch the entire thing, he's come to realize that, oh, you mean when you live in a Muslim country, somebody on the internet calling you an ikhwani means you might be tortured and put to death, exactly like Daniel Haraju says to him. Exactly how I, in my live stream, it was about a year ago. And, you know, Jake got so mad at that live stream. He stopped talking with Sam as well. Right? And I was just telling him what I think he knows very clearly today. Oh, yeah. It's different when you actually know Arabic. It's different when you're actually on the ground there and you actually see what it's like to live in a shithole country. Two more clips. This is where Daniel asks Jake a question that Jake can't answer.
Okay, so are you allowed to just say whatever you want on a live stream? Can you criticize the Moroccan government? Can you criticize, can you be outspoken in?
Yes or no question. Yes or no question. And I guarantee you that the Jake Brancatella I know would have answered that question without deflecting if he could. But of course he can't. Of course he can't.
Any of these criticisms of some of these governments that ally with Israel, like
that ally with Israel, that's the funny part. Oh, Jake, you can't criticize the government of Israel and the Mossad as much as I do because you live in Morocco. under the thumb of a Muslim leader. That's what it means to be in a shithole country. That's what. Let's hear his answer. But he's in an Abraham Accord country. He's in a country that the ruler is friends with Bibi Netanyahu.
Morocco?
Dan, you're moving from my critical.
Yes or no, Jake? Yes or no? But we all know the answer. I warned you. I warned you. Are you going to apologize to me? It's okay, Jake. You don't have to apologize publicly. Tell you what, if you apologize privately, I'll see what I can do about getting you some Mossad money to help you out of Morocco. It's sad. You know, growing up in the United States, all my friends, they just, I can't explain to them. They wouldn't believe me because they don't know what it's like to come from a shithole country. Now you understand, Jake, what it's like to live in a shithole country. I didn't find the clip, but if you listen to this entire discussion, Jake says to Daniel Haraju, you're in Texas. You can say whatever you want. I'm paraphrasing. Yep. He's in Texas. He can say whatever he wants. He doesn't have to worry about somebody on the internet calling him an Ikhwani or a Salafi or a what is it, Mushrik Murtad? Or saying that he secretly converted to Christianity. Because he can say whatever he wants. He's an American citizen. Yeah. So your wife says hi. I am glad to hear it. I hope she's doing well. Would love to have an update about her her health. Jacob is going to practice being gracious in his righteousness. When I was in Morocco, they told me that I couldn't make fun of the king, and I didn't make fun of the king. I'm such a coward. You know, Yanni, you know. Yeah. Oh, your wife. I am very sorry it took me a long time to acknowledge her. And for the final clip, just in case it wasn't enough that he didn't answer the question, here's the final clip.
Now, I want to question you. Why do you keep trying to get me in trouble with the Moroccan government and claim that I am an agent of these foreign governments?
Why do you try to get me in trouble? Get you in trouble with the Moroccan government? Why would you get in trouble with the what do you I mean, Daniel makes fun of him for complaining about it, and I mean he kind of should. She said she's doing well. The parasitic sickness has been delivered out of her. Okay. Wow. I don't know if that means what I think it means, or it means a different thing, but I'm not going to say anything. I will be quiet. That's beautiful. To many more of the right deliverances. Okay. Including our dear friend Jake Brancatella 2.1 being delivered from his stupidity. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna gloat too much. Is Jake going to say he's sorry? I don't know. I actually think he has more iman than at least some people give him credit for. But yeah. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you guys, I have a new clip. You guys are gonna love this.
I'm not sure who Fatarecci is. I can't tell.
He said my name correctly. Here, you can hear it again.
I'm not sure who Fatarecci is. I can't tell.
Unfortunately, this wasn't from him watching one of my videos or anything like that. I was like commenting. Hello, Houston Oiler. That's a weird way of writing Oiler. Jake's best moment was when he was doing his tier list and giving F grades to everyone who had he had a personal beef with. I mean, Jake, he's funny. He's good. He's good at this whole YouTube thing. He's a smart guy. Is Houston Oiler somebody who had 100,000 subs, or are you asking about Jake creating a new channel? Jake ended up going to 2.0 because his old channel was demonetized, and I'm guessing that was part of the fact that he had moved to Morocco. But I don't know. I mean, there's what's going on in the background is not clear. Yeah. He had to look, and obviously YouTube's going to treat somebody from who's living in Morocco with his type of channel very differently than somebody who's living in the United States with his channel. Like, I warned him about all of this shit. I would prefer to have been wrong. I would like to live in a world where I was wrong. I really would. I really, really would. But we don't live in that world. We live in a world of shithole countries. And, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. No, there are definitely no. It wasn't tax benefits. Maybe what he was able to do is, I'm guessing his first channel was a sole proprietorship, which is why it was a problem when he moved to Morocco. What he may have done is incorporate something in the United States, which was then hiring him, and that's how he ended up making Jake Brancatella 2.0. I'm just guessing. I'm absolutely guessing. I don't know, but yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know. Do people want to talk? Here, I'll drop the link in case people want to talk. As PVK said earlier tonight, yes, this is the time of year I have more time, although that's changing because I'm changing careers. And I only have another week or so to renew my insurance license. I don't even know if I should bother. Probably should. I mean, it's an interesting thing to watch. I'm the entirety. It's a 26-minute video, and if you can understand what's going on, you see what's going on. I mean, that's what it's like to live in a shithole country. Oh. Yep. Should I go on a rant about Jadal? Jadal. Here, I'll give you guys a tip. Let me find that episode of Jadal. Where's my history? There's my history. Where's not it? Live. Here we go. Can I find? I don't know how easily I can find.
Hold up. Alana in Texas just plays
No,
the dreamiest bro.
This is from two. This isn't it. The latest. What? No, that's not it. What happened to the stream from today? No, it's not here. Where's the stream I was watching? Is this the one? No, that's not the one. No, this is from 2 weeks ago, and it's not the one I was watching just now. Why can't I find the video? Here, I'm going to see if I can figure this out. From my history. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Nope. Has it been? I mean, I don't know if his stream has been taken down. I doubt it. Maybe it was on a different channel. Anyway, I guess I'm not going to be able to show you the latest from Jadal, but they were playing this clip of the Shah with Mike Wallace. So some people have seen it, where the Shah talks about the Jewish influence on the United States media, etc. And hey, Kirk, if you want to jump on, you can jump on for a little bit. Not for long. And the they were showing that clip, and where he talks about Jewish influence in the United States, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can find it. And the guy who was saying it was like, right after this was the revolution. And Ali Alizadeh realized that the clip proves too much. That it was basically saying the Islamic Revolution was the work of the Jews, because everything is the work of the Jews. You didn't know that? And I just found that hilarious. Are you having fun, Shadow? Yeah? Do you want to say hi to the people? No? You can say hi to the people if you want. Say hi to the people.
Hello.
Hello.
I mean, I didn't really want to jump on, but you seemed kind of inviting, so.
I am inviting. Adam says, what do you mean the Shah? No, this was a clip of the Shah from like it might have even been like the 50s or 60s, but certainly at the 70s. We're talking about Muhammad Shah. And the revolution has not ended. It's not clear what's going on in Iran right now. So, yeah, I did a long stream. I think it was yesterday. How you doing, Kirk?
I'm doing well. Classes are going well. Life's going well. I try not to keep too much up with the news, except for what you tell me, because I'm generally skeptical of most news sources. Um, there's a quote who I don't know who deserves the credit for the quote, but I'm a big fan of the quote that goes to the effect of all models are wrong, but some are useful. And that's my philosophy of how to understand the current situation in Iran.
Well, yes, all models are wrong. Some are useful, but I mean, the question becomes, what's useful about understanding the situation in Iran in your life?
Necessarily know if they have utilitarian benefit in my life.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't really have too much utilitarian benefit in my life either. But I have an emotional attachment, obviously. Um, but yeah, uh, if we all had the capacity to actually live our lives with more relevance realization, our lives would probably go better than they do.
I mean, I came on because you had said like, "Hey, Kirk, if you want to hop on, hop on." But like in all seriousness, if you want to like catch me up with what Jake the Saudi Metaphysician is, please go ahead, because I didn't really watch until I said hello.
So Jake was an American, and he is very, very smart. And he came to the belief that there is a God, and he came to be convinced of Islam, and he became and continues to be a prominent debater uh, in terms of Dawa, Muslim apologetics. Really smart guy, and the type of person who um, likes to actually live out his faith, which is why I have a lot of respect for him, despite the fact um, his naivete has gotten the better of him in many, many ways. And about a year ago, I think it was, he announced that he was moving to Morocco. because he took very seriously the criticism of, well, if Islam is so great, why don't you live in a Muslim country?
Yeah. I mean,
And when he did that, and when he announced that, I made a stream making fun of him. That stream is still up, and his and he actually came and watched it, and he was quite offended by my stream and by what we had to say there. And for a while, he was claiming that I should apologize to him for being wrong. And recently, he had a debate, and I was like, "Oh, what's he up to?" And I went and I found this video on his channel, and I mean, the video is all the proof I think anybody needs to recognize that my warnings to him were right and true. And once he moves back to the States, which is probably what he's going to do, unless, I mean, he could try moving to a different country, or he could stay in Morocco. Um, but what is absolutely clear is that whatever he does, he's going to have to uh, recognize basically that I was right. So
yeah.
this is an "I told you so" stream.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Islam online is that, to my understanding, the majority of self-proclaimed Muslims online have not read the Quran in depth.
Well, the vast majority of Muslims have not read the Quran in depth. The Quran, I mean, it's funny. I was so somebody else asked me if I've read the Quran, and I'm like, yes, I've read the Quran in translation, of course, because the Arabic is unintelligible. Um, and uh, people will find that a little bit surprising. What do you mean the Quran is unintelligible? I mean, in Arabic, you cannot just sit and read a Quran without a tafsir. It's not. It's not possible to read it without a tafsir. You wouldn't understand what's going on. It's it's a poem at best, and the Arabic is a very particular type of Arabic at best, which is why, like, the dumb thing that some sola scriptura uh, Christians do is pick up a copy of the Quran, and they're like, see, the Quran has this verse in it and that verse in it. Therefore, you should, all Muslims believe X or Y or Z. And it's like, like, not applicable. Here, Adam actually knows Arabic, and he actually lives in a Muslim country, in a shithole country, unfortunately. The Quran keeps you on your toes because you can't find enough information. Exegesis helps, but every version contradicts the other. Yeah, I mean, the Quran, I think, is like, so the Christian Bible is like a third of the size of the Hebrew Bible, and I think the Quran is like a third of the size of the Christian Bible. Here, let's ask Grok. Grok, how long is the Quran in Arabic compared to the Jewish or Christian Bibles also in Arabic? So it's looking for a word count in Arabic versions. Let's see if I can find it. Because word count in of the Quran in translation just like it doesn't count because it has to be so much longer. Quran in Arabic has around 77,439 words. Hebrew Tanakh contains about 305,000 words. I mean, it's still searching, but yeah, I mean, the Quran is a very short and difficult text.
Yeah.
Houston Euler, there's a Christian channel doing a reading of the Quran and coming to the conclusion that the we speaker of the Quran includes both Allah and Muhammad. I have news for you. Muhammad might actually be a title for Jesus. Dun dun dun. The length of the Quran is almost identical to the lengths of the 5 books of Moses. That's interesting. But obviously, the 5 books of Moses is a lot shorter than the entirety of the Jewish Bible. Approximate word count in Arabic, Quran, 320. Quran 77,439. The Tanakh is 322,597, and both Old and New Testaments in Arabic is 430,938. So how much is this? Around 75,000. So I guess the New Testament in Arabic would be around the same length as the Quran in Arabic. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, so the thing is, I've heard from some people who I trust that one of the arguments that some Muslims use against Christianity and Judaism is the idea that the Jewish and Christian scriptures, in their view, are corrupted, right? But then they say that the Quran is not corrupted. But then we get into the fact that the Arabic can be interpreted in multiple ways. So, in what sense can we say that the current interpretations and exegesis are any more reliable than the current interpretations and exegesis that Jews and Christians have of their own scriptures?
So the problem that someone like Jake has is he is smart enough that I don't think he can live an entire life as a Muslim from an American background. He cares too much about the propositional. He cares too much about things, and he's too willing to. For example, he's very critical of the verses in the Hebrew Bible that seem to command killing babies. He's like, oh, that's absolutely false, and I cannot accept a God that commands that. That's a very Protestant thing to do. That is an incredibly Protestant thing to do. And yeah, it's something Muslim apologists say a lot, but they don't mean it. I think when Jake says things, he actually does mean it, and that's his problem. He doesn't understand what it means to live a Muslim life. And that is not to say there aren't honest Muslims. I believe there are some very, very honest Muslims, but those honest Muslims tend to be very quiet. I said this recently, and I firmly believe it. the true Muslims are the Muslims who don't speak.
Okay. I mean, I don't know enough about Islam to make a definitive judgment on that, so I can't say who is and isn't a true Muslim. But I will say that whatever the interpretation of Islam that most people, at least governments in the Islamic world, have today, clearly they need to interpret their Quran better.
Yeah, I do not suspect any leader of any Muslim country of actually being a Muslim. Um, the the exceptions to that, I think Ayatollah Sistani is an actual Muslim. I think Imam Al Azhar, I think his name is Tayyib, if I remember correctly. I think he's an actual Muslim. Um, and they are prominent leaders, uh, including in some manner political leaders in their country. Ayatollah Sistani lives in Iraq, and Imam Al Azhar obviously lives in Egypt. Um, and who is the Imam Al Azhar right now? Al Azhar. Has it changed? I don't think it has. Yeah, it's still Ahmed Al Tayyib. How old is he? Ahmed Al Tayyib is he is 80 years old. He was born in 1946.
Yeah.
I think he's. I mean, I don't know how active he's been in the past 5 5 years or so, but he was very active in getting rid of Mohammed Morsi. But again, he's actually more quiet than people would expect someone who, like he is basically the Muslim equivalent of a pope. And I think vast majority of people on the West have never even heard of him, which tells you something.
Yeah. I mean, so one of the problems with regards to the Islamic world is due to the interfaith come like combat and instability is so for example so Steven Pinker has this idea of common knowledge, which is what everyone knows that everyone knows. So it's when I know something and I know that you know that I know it. Does that make sense? And
Yes.
in the context of the Islamic world, the thing that worry about is because there are so many different competing factions and so much political instability, there is no common knowledge. There is no what everyone knows that what everyone knows. But you need to have common knowledge in order to maintain a functioning socioeconomic and political society.
There are definitely things that everyone knows. Um, it's just as in most repressive societies, which let's face it, most societies are very repressive, um, including to our own to some extent. I mean, the United States, the really British value of free speech. Although I think it goes back to the Hebrew Bible, but the idea of free speech is revolutionary, and I'm guessing that's also Pinker's point about having general knowledge. But even if you can't speak a truth, that doesn't mean people don't know the truth. Um, so I went back and I watched my initial stream about Jake, and one of the things that I did at the beginning of that stream was put um, a clip of one of these American protesters who was claiming that the police are fascists. And like she was so shocked when she got arrested, right? Like there are things when an American goes up to a police officer and says you're a fascist, it's they don't actually expect to be shot, right? Like what happened in Minnesota, right? They they don't have the expectation that somebody in Iran does, that yeah, they'll actually kill you. They will actually kill you, right? And that's something that people know, right? And if you listen to the discussion that I linked between Daniel Hadjatu and Jake, you will see the things that Jake can't say, but he knows to be true, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of societies, and like as Americans just are not, they 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 just have no concept of how so much of the world lives. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, I envy Americans their naivete. I really do.
Um, I mean, I don't envy naivety. I like being enlightened, but I understand where you're coming from. I mean, the thing is, the point I was making. Adam was saying in the chat, there's not as many factions as Christianity. I think my point was more that not that there's more factions in Islam, but that the factions, to the extent that they rival each other, are significantly more intensely rivalrous in the modern day than modern day Christianity, and that's where the instability comes from, in my view.
I mean, there's no Peace of Westphalia, but as I keep on telling people, I mean, I haven't actually spoken about this before, but there's a reason why the Muslim Brotherhood is so popular throughout the Muslim world. Um, it's Islam doesn't have denominations like Christianity does, or vast majority of Muslims don't belong to an aqidah or a mazhab. They don't belong. They don't have a creed. They don't have their. They will say they are just Muslims, right? And obviously, there's no mere Islam anymore. Like, there's more mere Christianity than there's mere Islam, but there's more mere Muslims than there has ever been mere Christians. People who truly, like, they go to any masjid, they go to the closest masjid. They don't care what the preacher is saying. They are Muslims and they view everyone there as a Muslim. Let me see what Adam is saying. Quran allows Muslims to think Adam is the first Homo sapiens, which against all historical sources before the modern age. Okay. Pressure tends to deepen your ideas and make you keep a lot buried. Yeah, repressive societies. There's not as many factions as Christianity. Aqidah is nearly the same across Sunni schools. It is, but I would say most Muslims don't have any Aqidah, and they pride themselves on that. Also, I wish Salafi got back to the belief system. It was rather than being a political label. Honestly, I mean, Adam, you might want to watch the Iran update stream. Yosef, Paul Vanderklay, and I actually went into a deeper understanding of Islam than I think I've had basically with I don't know that anybody else I have had discussion with has truly understood Islam on my channel as much as the discussion that we had there. No, Kirk, mosques don't belong to factions. Even Shia can pray with Sunnah. Yeah, that's the thing. There is so many more mere Muslims. Like there are more mere Muslims in your average individual city than there are mere Christians in history. Like your average, like there are millions of mere Muslims in Cairo. In I would say a majority of Muslims are mere Muslims. And I think like it's the idea is so foreign to Christians that they don't even like I said with PVK, was he the one who said it or I like no, he was the one who said it. We have to import Christian labels into Islam to understand Islam in terms of the propositional, because Islam just has never been that propositional. And that's why it's so hard. It's so hard to explain Islam to Christians. Jake has a brand new community post complaining about how none of the Christians understand his new debate argument. I listened to his arguments. I mean, I think he makes good arguments. He's a very smart guy, but like part of the problem he has is like he's a public philosopher at a level that the vast majority of the public just has no capacity of comprehending. And so unless when he is debating with someone, unless he is debating someone who is both knowledgeable, intelligent, and honest enough to concede points, his audience will never know and understand like how good his points are. Like I have to when Jake makes an argument, sometimes I have to either sit down and try to understand it, and sometimes I just don't bother because he makes very high level, like he is very studied in metaphysics in ways I just don't care to be.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's really interesting because like so to my understanding, there was a strong Aristotelian slash Platonic slash Neoplatonic influence slash Neo-Aristotelian influence in the Islamic Golden Age, where there was like strong philosophical scholarship and metaphysics and learning of math and algebra and philosophy and science and such. But I thought after Al-Ghazali reformed Islam, a lot of that stuff was considered like not kosher with Islam or not kosher with Ghazali's influence on Islam.
Well, the funny thing is that, I mean, Jake claims to be a Salafi and very opposed to the Asharis, who are the people who are more interested in philosophy. And I don't know, maybe he will end up becoming more of a Muslim in the line of like, who am I thinking of? Khalil Adnan, is it? Who came on my thing a couple of times to discuss this stuff. He's a disciple of the the Aga Khan. What kind of Muslims are they? I forget the name.
Wahhabi?
No. Not even close. They're a form of Shia. The Aga Khan. Hold on. Ismaili. He's Ismaili. Yeah, I could see. I mean, Jake will laugh if he hears this. I could see him becoming an Ismaili. I could see. The thing is, I could see him doing anything. I could see him becoming a Christian. I could see him becoming a Jew. I could see him becoming a Buddhist, because he's the type of person who gets convinced by an argument and actually follows the argument where it goes.
Wow, that's a level of propositional tyranny which I don't even think most American Protestants have.
Right, and I'm glad you recognize that's propositional tyranny, and it's not like there's plenty of Protestants who will be like, oh, that sounds like he is, he's a modern day Martin Luther, and you're saying great things about him, right? Here I am, and I, here I stand, and I can do no other, etc., etc., etc. But that's just because he is so wedded to the propositional frame of the Protestantism in which he was steeped as an American. Yeah, it would be very interesting if. So I can imagine Jake staying in Morocco if he breaks out of that Protestant frame, which he might. But if he does, what he will not continue to do is be a Salafi. That's for sure.
Yeah. So the thing is, I mean, it is interesting. I am actually kind of surprised that he is like very knowledgeable about metaphysics and stuff, because like that is I thought like after Al-Ghazali was not considered popular within the Islamic apologetics community, but
Apologetics community it is.
okay, so maybe not. Okay, so it would be more popular among the apologetics than among the lay Muslim.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like, and that might be part of his problem, right? Jake keeps on claiming he's not a scholar of Islam, and that's because he submits. I mean, he is a Muslim. He does submit to the scholars that he finds to be credible and stuff, but like, I think if he were to become more of a Muslim scholar himself, which I'm sure he's working on, that's why he's learning Arabic, he's going to have to contend with the problems of the Quran and the problems of Islam in ways that he simply isn't right now. And I think that's going to be hard for him, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, I think saying "I don't know" is a very healthy thing to say at a certain point. Unfortunately, I don't know if I've reached that level of maturity yet, but I hope that I have. I will say, so Morocco of all countries, I am a little bit shocked because, like, if he's, I presume he's like anti-Zionist, and from my understanding, Morocco is one of the Arab countries that signed the Abraham Accords.
Right, and that's part of the whole thing. Was like my whole thing to him was like, dude, you don't get it. I think he imagined that living in Morocco, he would at least be able to criticize Israel, and it's like, no, not as a. I mean, do I play this thing again that here I'll play this again.
Then Uthman bin Farouk and Muslim Lantern.
Can trouble with the now I want to
Okay, that's
Listen,
Now,
Daniel, can we?
now I want to question you. Why do you keep trying to get me in trouble with the Moroccan government and claim that I am an agent of these foreign governments? Why are you doing that?
So he's complaining about people trying to get him in trouble with the Moroccan government, and it's like, oh, Jake, you realize that you're going to get in trouble with the Moroccan government based on what's going on YouTube? Yeah, guess what? That's precisely what I told you. That is precisely what I told you.
Yeah. I mean, if I may throw out another quote, I'm reminded of a quote by Karl Popper that goes to the effect of the difference between a difference between the amoeba and Einstein is that Einstein learns from his mistakes because he's intrigued by error, whereas the amoeba dies if he makes mistakes. So I think the behavior of some of these Muslim governments, where there's no like internal critique, is part of the reason you see, economic failure.
Yes, repressive governments fail. I agree with that. Yep. Okay. It's getting late. You should go to bed. I should go to bed.
Good night, Jacob.
Good night. I am going to play this little thing again.
I'm not sure who Fatarecci is. I can't tell.
And I'll play this song again.
سر سنگ عقابی به هوا خواست آن در طلب تو مهپر و بال بیاراست بر راستی بال نظر کرد و چنین گفت امروز همه روی جهان زیر پر ماست بر بال عقاب آمدان تیر جگردوز از زب مرو را به سوی خاک فرو کاست چون نیک نگاه کرد و پر خویش برو دید گفت تازه که نالیم که از ماست که بر ماست از ماست که بر ماست از ماست که بر ماست.
I'm going to use host's prerogative to put the Reverend Parcells to bed because he does need to get up in the morning.
Sorry, Reverend. Thank you.
But before he goes, I have a question. Let's say, God forbid, that I were to burn somebody at the stake for not being a Trinitarian. And I did not repent of that. Is that a salvation issue?
Sometimes Jacob takes that devil's advocate thing too far.
There a proverb that says something like, "Don't answer a fool according to his folly."
But there's a proverb that says, "Answer a fool according to his folly."
There is. Exactly right. And I'm going to leave it to you guys to determine, which of those was applicable in this situation as I go. So, but anyhow, Good.
Thank
It was
you,
good
Reverend.
to good to
Thank
chat
you.
with you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
The